Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1871 AN. Today's date is May 19th, 2019, and the title of the episode is The World Begins to Reject Globalism. Next, the Central Bank. Now, before I get started, I wanted to talk about trading. There's never been a better time in history to trade crypto, stocks, or binary options. Trade Genius, over the last 30 days, has netted its traders over 22% of their money from spot-on trades. For example, Trade Genius issued a buy signal on BNB BTC right here, which netted traders a 13% profit gain. Also, a buy signal here on USAS for a 7% gain, and a buy signal here on CBLK for a 2% gain. Incredible. If you never traded before and you want to take advantage of these types of profits every day in the market, I urge you to sign up for one of many Trade Genius's online educational courses. Perfect for yourself or a loved one. Take control of your financial future, discover the lucrative world of trading, and receive personal coaching with Trade Genius's Bob Kudla and his partner Philip. Right now through May, for their Memorial Day sale, you can save over 50% off their bundled specials and or use promo code MEMORIAL for 40% off all non-bundled items. Check out TradeGeniusAcademy.com. Tell them X22 Report sent you. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, something amazing is happening, and I don't know if many people are starting to realize that the people, they're taking back control. Slowly but surely. And what do I mean by this? Well, let's start off with the BREXIT. The people decided, something, we don't want to be part of the EU. We'd like to separate from the EU. It's a non-elected body, and we would like to do this by having a vote. The people voted. Then the government, the EU, decided to try to stop them by creating this ridiculous deal, which the people didn't want. And the people said, no, you know what? We reject this. We don't want this. We're not voting through this plan. And then we had Nigel Farage. He decided, something, the government, the way it is right now, is not doing what they promised. So he started the BREXIT party. And now the BREXIT party is on the verge of overtaking the Tories, from 0 members to 100,000 in just 5 weeks. What does that mean? It means the people are waking up. People are starting to realize something is wrong. And now they are speaking out. Nigel Farage said, the BBC is in denial, the Tory and Labour parties are in denial. He says, I think you're all in for a bigger surprise this week than you can even imagine. The biggest denier of them all is Theresa May. And they have a new slogan now. Change politics for good. The BREXIT party. Listen to what Nigel Farage has to say. He has some exciting news.
Date is the 31st of October. What I'm saying is, if the Brexit party could win these elections next week and win them well, leaving with no deal is back on the table. I'm going to demand that we have representation in those negotiations because we'll have a democratic mandate to do so. And I think Mrs May will be gone within a few weeks. We may just get a Prime Minister who, for fear of the Brexit party, says we're leaving on the 31st regardless.
Now, this is going to be very interesting as we approach May 31st. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw events, if we saw scare tactics by the EU. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw any of that. But if the Brexit party wins, or should I say when the Brexit party wins, we're going to see change, which means the people are in control. And it's not just happening in the UK. I mean, look at Italy right now. Look at Hungary. Look at many of these countries that are rejecting the EU. In Australia, they just had elections. They were held. They were compulsory. Everyone over the age 18 is required to vote. The turnout was greater than 95%, and all the media and pollsters, they were completely shocked. They didn't know what happened. The Conservative coalition received a stunning, unexpected, unanticipated victory. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has won the election. The 2019 media in Australia looks very similar and identical to the media in the US November 2016 during the elections at that point. Now, this is very interesting. Morrison was running on the platform for the economy, immigration, a pushback against the insufferable climate change nonsense. I mean, this sounds very familiar to Trump. And he won. So now we have the UK, Australia, Italy, Hungary, and many other countries that are waking up. Everyone is starting to realize that they want change. They don't want what the globalists were giving us. Actually, I don't think the people ever wanted what the globalists were giving us. I believe the mainstream media, the globalists, they were all together pushing a message that no one really wanted. Because as you can see in all these countries, people are starting to wake up. Now, why is this important? Because these people in these countries, they realize that the path that we are headed down was not a good path for the economy, for the country, and they're rejecting globalism, which means we're going to be pushing for a rejection of the central bank. Now think about what German Chancellor Angela Merkel said. She thinks the post-World War II global order, as we know it, is over. And now she grouped the United States with China and Russia as adversaries of Europe. Now, all of Europe is not with Germany or with Angela Merkel, because I'm sure the people in Germany are like, you know something? We need a change also. And we know that Angela Merkel, she decided not to run. And what she's saying here is that globalism is dead. She said there is no doubt that Europe needs to reposition itself in a changed world. The old certainties of the post-war order no longer apply. The globalist push, where she had the cooperation, and everyone had the cooperation from all the countries, from the UN, from the mainstream media to push their agenda, well, it looks like it is over. The people are in control. The people are now speaking out, and they're telling their leaders, they're telling the globalists, they're telling the mainstream media, we don't like the economy the way it is. We don't believe in climate change. We don't believe in globalism. We don't believe you anymore. And this is spreading. And you can see the people in all these different countries, they're going to start to vote completely opposite of what the mainstream media, what the globalists want. They can push their agenda. They can show us polls. It makes no difference. Now, this buildup is then going to lead to the rejection of the central bank system. We have to take this one step at a time. Let me go back a little bit when Trump gave a UN speech. Take a listen to what he says. Now, I separated it in two different sections, but take a listen to what he is saying.
The United States is stronger, safer, and a richer country than it was when I assumed office less than 2 years ago. We are standing up for America and for the American people, and we are also standing up for the world. This is great news for our citizens and for peace-loving people everywhere. We believe that when nations respect the rights of their neighbors and defend the interests of their people, they can better work together to secure the blessings of safety, prosperity, and peace. Each of us here today is the emissary of a distinct culture, a rich history, and a people bound together by ties of memory, tradition, and the values that make our homelands like nowhere else on earth. That is why America will always choose independence and cooperation over global governance, control, and domination. I honor the right of every nation in this room to pursue its own customs, beliefs, and traditions. The United States will not tell you how to live or work or worship. We only ask that you honor our sovereignty in return. America is governed by Americans. We reject the ideology of globalism, and we embrace the doctrine of patriotism. Around the world, responsible nations must defend against threats to sovereignty, not just from global governments, but also from other new forms of coercion and domination.
He is rejecting globalism. He is telling the world it's time to stand up and it's time to fight. And this is all in preparation to get rid of the central bank, because you're going to need China, Russia, Australia, the UK, and the rest of the countries to take on the central bank system. I mean, think about France right now. We have Le Pen going after Macron. Macron has the lowest approval rating ever seen since his presidency. And now we have Le Pen running against him. There's change coming. Change for the global economy. Change for the way we create currency. It's all about to change. And we're watching it in real time. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.